This is my notebook. It's not the nicest, but it has served me well for the past year. I use it to keep track of ideas, drawings, measurements, and much more. Even though I only got through half of it, I want a new one. I could just buy one, but I really want to put some part of myself into it, so I'm making my own. So I went shopping for all the ingredients, and I found this really nice thick paper, which will serve as a shelf for my notebook. Writing paper is just regular copier paper, because that is what I had laying around, and I don't want to waste any fancy paper on my first try. Although I really enjoyed the size of my previous notebook, it was just a bit too big in my opinion, so I decided that instead of the A5 size, I would go for an A6 size. My parents lent me this paper cutter, which really made the process of cutting the paper a breeze. The reason I like making stuff myself is that you create a connection to it. You bought all the components, you made the plans, and you assembled it. You know every nook and cranny of your creation, and that's just not something you will get with the stuff you buy in a store. You might find something which is much cheaper, and you might find something which is much better, but you won't find something which will teach you the skills and the knowledge needed to make it. And if you keep doing this, over time you will be able to make almost anything you want. Next up is the start of the binding process. I will be using needle and thread to do this. Since paper can be quite tough, I chose to go for a thicker needle. First, the holes need to be poked. This went okay. I used one sheet of paper as a template for all of the other pages, but not all the holes lined up perfectly. So in the future I will be 3D printing a jig which will allow for repeatable results. The binding process was the most satisfying part of this project. Seeing all the pages come together, turning into a finished product in my hands. It was awesome. And although this is only my second time working with needle and thread, I'm loving the process of stitching things together. In a previous short I made a patch which I've sewn to my backpack, and since then I did some looking around online and found new techniques to help me with sewing, so I am sure my next actual sewing project will be going much better. I lost some of the footage from the end of the binding process, but I included this page marker which consists of the binding thread with some glued heat shrink on the end. Finally, I want to cut off some of the excess paper which was caused by the binding process. I tried to do this using my box cutter, but the result wasn't great. I tried fixing it by clamping the pages and sanding them, which greatly improved it, but not to the degree that I'm satisfied. Next time I'm making a notebook, I will be sure to buy a scalpel. I'm really satisfied with the final result. It might not be the nicest, but it's mine, and I made it, and that's what counts for me. Thank you for your attention.